Welcome to the final whistle, everybody. On the Bama Standard, you know, we're kind of like the late show. Things get kind of raw and uncut, and that's not the name of my OnlyFans this week. So we want to welcome everybody in. We know we got the all-star panel in the house. I'm Matt Cadell. You see, I'm trying to make Saban mean again. Shouts out to Chris James, a.k.a. Dan's brother. Brother Chris, how are you doing since you're on mute?
Man, I'm good, dog. You know what I'm saying, man? Just ready to dive into tonight's topics so I can go off. Let's get it.
Awesome. And we got, ladies and gentlemen, Hazed and Confused Around the Table Sports. Mr. Ty Hayes, how are you doing? Vintage Alabama.
Man, I can't complain. Yep. Got the Vintage Alabama one. If you want some of it, head on over to homefield.com. Use code ATTS15 for 15% off.
Nice. ATTS. I love it. And our lead recruiting analyst, Final Whistle Dan. How are you? Oh, he's showing the guns. How are you, Dan?
Whoa. We don't want to get demonetized now.
And Jeff. What's going on, guys? You know, hey, it's Ole Miss game week, man. This hit on golden all week.
Call him Big Papa Pump.
And ladies and gentlemen, you know the one and only, the man, the gamer, kick.com. I mean, the coach, the analyst, content creator, Coach Smooth.
What's good, man? Hey, today, right now, in this moment, it's not about me. It's about my birds, y'all. Y'all might hear my birds tonight because they love some Alabama football. So y'all give it up for my birds, Angel and Sky, man. Shout out to Angel and Sky, man.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Real tight.
Speaking of the bird, the bird. The bird is the word. The word of the hardest working man in Bama football content, Mr. Justin Riley. Justin, how are you today?
We are the mega stars. Whose game is it with everybody saying the final whistle? Hey, Matt, we need to get those T-shirts printed up of Make Saban Mean Again.
Let's do it. I want hats. I want the hats. I'm going to do it. We need to have an insurrection at the complex and get Tommy Rees a new playbook, a creative playbook. How about that? Speaking of Tommy Rees going to Mr. Ty Hayes, I'm going to throw
my bro, Daquan, what's up, man?
Nancy, what's up? 2-4.
Hey, he's pulling double duty tonight. He was on our show earlier. Now he's in the house. I'm loving this dedication.
What up, Quan?
DQ, you jump on the stream.
Hey, real quick. Y'all know I got to go back down memory lane. Daquan, you remember you ran me over, Shaw? Russell County 9th grade year, bro. Hey, but anyways, man, it's funny. Every time I talk to Daquan, we laugh about that joke, man. But good to see you in the chat, bro.
Daquan, when I'm riding through Mississippi, don't pull me over, big dog.
Hey.
That'd be unfortunate.
Hey.
But I'll tell you who he can pull over, right?
Ooh.
Especially after the last 3 games. If you see Tommy Rees,
pull him over.
Feel free to pull him over. Now, just give him a warning. Let him on his way. But just pull him over. But in all seriousness, guys, coming off of this game, there's a lot of talk on social media, and I've seen one phrase time and time again, and it's an inflammatory phrase. And I thought that it's something we need to discuss. Is Tommy Rees sabotaging the offense? Because this is something, if you were on Twitter, first off, I'm sorry that you were on Twitter. Second off, if you were there, you saw this opinion, right? You saw this opinion in the cesspool that is Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it these days. So I thought this was something that we needed to talk about as a panel. Is Tommy Rees sabotaging the offense? I'm going to quickly talk about it in my 2 cents, and then I'll pass it on. To sabotage is to intentionally tear down. And I can't imagine that Nick Saban has brought somebody in here that's intention. So no, I don't think Tommy Rees is sabotaging the offense. However, I do think it's fair to point out some inadequacies that we've seen. For instance, I've talked about this time and time again, but I'm going to say it one more time. It's so confusing to me that we watched the Texas game. Watch how Steve Sarkisian called that game. You had a quarterback that was a 5-star quarterback in Quinn Ewers, and Steve Sarkisian called the heavy RPO-based offense, minimizing the amount of choices Quinn Ewers had to make. In fact, Quinn's first pass was a screen pass behind the line of scrimmage, of which he had 11 more. Jalen Milroe had 1, 2, if I'm being honest, and I don't think either of them were behind the line of scrimmage. I think both of them were short passes. Point being, you had a coordinator in Steve Sarkisian help out his former 5-star pocket passer, and you had Tommy Rees throw Jalen Milroe more or less to the wolves where he was reading a defense. I don't think Tommy Rees is sabotaging anything, right? I think he's trying to find his footing, but I do think it's fair to say that he hasn't implemented an offense conducive to success for the quarterback leading it, which is Jalen Milroe. Guys, before I pass this on, the most frustrating thing for me, and Spook, I'm going to pass it to you first. What do we open up this week with Buckner? Short passes into the flat, screen passes, exactly what we should have been doing early in the game with Jalen Milroe. That way Texas couldn't have stacked the box into the second quarter. Spread them out east and west so that you can attack north and south. Smook, talk to me. Do you think Tommy Rees is sabotaging the Alabama offense?
I don't think I'm right there with you. I don't think he's sabotaging the offense. And I agree with a lot of the points you made, but I more so see this guy just has so many weapons at hand, man. He's just happy. I heard Josh Pate, you know what I'm saying? I heard I think it was Josh Pate said it on a show. You gave this guy Tommy Rees, who just came from Notre Dame, from like nothing, having 2, maybe 3 options, and you put him in an offense at Alabama, a brand like Alabama, who everybody's already expecting you to bring the firepower to be that top scoring offense. I think he was kind of, subsiding to the pressure a little bit, trying to be something that Alabama's offense just isn't right now. And it's obvious in the play calling with how he put Jalen Milroe in those situations. But in the same sense, in his defense, you do have a quarterback that's been in this program for 3 years, who has the team behind him, who has shown all this progression and all this growth in the offseason. Put him to the test against Texas, rightfully so, but do not sit him against USF. Allow him the opportunity to reestablish himself against a lesser opponent, 4 drives, and then throw Buckner out there in the fire, and then let Ty Simpson get some reps. I think that move last week was more confusing than it was harmful, because whether the rumors are true about the team and their attitude behind Buckner starting, it still did the offense no justice, because it's like we wasted 6 drives worth of reps, where we could have gave Ty those first 6 drives, and then if 0 points after 6 drives, you switch it up. Against USF, you switch it up. So I don't think Rees is sabotaging, but I do think the last, and I made this point on another show, that last minute, 6.5 minutes of that game, we definitely saw more of what Coach Saban originally wanted. When we talk about leaning on the run game, hopefully coming into this game, we see a lot more pre-snap movement, establishing mismatches. But I do not think Tommy Rees is trying to sabotage. Is he kind of putting himself in the box and setting himself up for failure the way he's calling the game right now? Yes, but I don't think it's because he's purposely trying to sabotage this team.
100% agree. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's a circumstance of I don't want to say he was in over his head, but it was almost like the moment was so big. What do we do here? It's going to be interesting to see how we move forward. Now, Dan, talk to me. Same question. What's your interpretation of what we have going on in the offense right now with Tommy Rees?
Yeah, I agree with y'all. I don't think he's trying to sabotage the offense, but I know and believe that he has no clue of how to take advantage of the quarterback's strengths. Mm-hmm. So that's evident in his play calling. He doesn't. I guess he doesn't know how to use a athletic, mobile, dual threat quarterback. You had all summer, spring, to come up with, design quarterback runs. Take advantage of what you have. Don't try to fit a guy into your offense when the guy is what he is. You know what I'm saying? You got to build the offense and play call around him and put him in the best position to succeed.
100%. And we have some people in the chat disagreeing, thinking Corey says y'all can only make so many excuses for bad line play and bad quarterback play. Line play hasn't been good, but Corey, I'm of the mindset that play calling has been a bigger problem than quarterback play. How many times did we see Jalen Milroe floating out of the pocket? If the offensive line isn't doing their job, get him out of the pocket, get him throwing on the run. You saw none of that. We saw that from Quinn, the former 5-star pocket passer, because Steve Sarkisian helped his quarterback. Matt, talk to me. What's going on with Tommy Rees right now in the Alabama offense? What are you seeing?
I don't know what he's doing. You know, I'm kind of on the likes with Dan. I don't think he's sabotaging the offense, but what he is sabotaging this creative playbook that he has. He is sabotaging, you know, all the talent we have in this offense. You know, he's sabotaging his job. Yeah, I'll tell you that. You know, I think he's walking on thin ice. You know, so you know. I just think he needs to just relax, calm down, look at his personnel and find different ways. Like, look at Sark offense. You know, you can just run the plays he ran. It's not that hard. You know, it's a copycat league. Do what they do in the NFL. You know, it's not that hard. Heck, get the best plays off Madden. I mean, it's not that hard in my opinion. So, you know, I just think he needs to, hopefully he's been humbled. You know, he just needs to go back to the drawing board, look at his personnel, play the call to, you know, Jalen Milroe's strengths and, you know, utilize his running game and get creative. That's my biggest thing. I think we need to do wildcat, I formation, pistol, jet sweeps. All that stuff needs to come out Saturday. That way we put the SEC on notice moving forward that we have a lot in our bag. So I'm going to toss it up to Chris James. Chris, what are your thoughts?
I think Smook has something you want to add first.
My bad.
So I've been watching the chat, y'all, and I've been really trying to bite my tongue. A lot of y'all, you gotta understand the schematics of this. To Tommy Rees's defense, the plays that he's calling, it's not like 45-50% of these plays are open. You're giving Milroe a chance. The protection when the plays are there, he didn't make the throws against Texas, and that's why we lost. There were times where Milroe just did not progress. So that's not on that. It's 50-50. It goes both ways. Rees called the play opens up, but Milroe consistently showing he doesn't see it. It's like at some point you kind of want your quarterback to kind of click, but in that game it didn't happen. And that's what I'm saying with my statement. USF game would have been a perfect time to put him in those same situations, and let's see how effective this offense can be against a lesser opponent like it was against Middle Tennessee State. So if we would have seen some type of consistency there, then I don't have as many questions as I do now with the play calling style, because then you're in a different mode in the gameplay. The game is going a whole different vibe. There's different, you know, we're ahead of the sticks, and things aren't always behind the play. You know what I'm saying? So I feel it on both sides, guys. But right now, at this point, going into conference play, you got to go with the strengths of your quarterback that's starting.
Well, two things can be true at the same time. Tommy Rees could have called up plays that did provide opportunities, and those opportunities should have been taken advantage of. Yes, but Nick Saban has consistently talked about the job of a teacher is to teach, to figure out how your student best learns. You cannot be the best teacher you are. You can't be the best teacher you can be if you're refusing to do that. We have got to play to the strength of our quarterback. Chris, talk to me about Tommy Rees, man, because we're over here holding church. Talk to me.
Well, first off, I just believe in his mind that he already had his quarterback in his mind that Buckner was going to be his guy. I mean, that's what it seemed like.
Day right there. That's a good laugh.
And the team let him know.
I'm just letting you know, man, because he was comfortable with the guy from Notre Dame. But in addition to that, it's like I haven't seen him call plays to fit the offensive strength. That's like for example, like we talked about this Sunday in our meeting. He hasn't helped Caden Proctor out. He hasn't. When Caden Proctor gets beat for a sack, the guy's beating him with speed rush. How do you stop that? Slow that down. Get a back, chip off a screen, or have an H-back or somebody to kind of help in pass pro. You know what I'm saying? But we haven't seen that in the offensive line. Whenever we get in a rhythm of running the ball, we start to mashing people, then he goes away from it. You know what we like? It took, I think, the Roydell Williams drive to put the game away. Was the first time we saw just run the ball down somebody's throat for a whole series, just run it down the throat, because we've been running down the throat. Then here he goes, a deep shot, trying to make Milroe a pocket pass or something he's not. I mean, he can throw it deep, but that's not his game. Get the guy on the edge, get him in bootlegs, design quarterback run. I haven't seen design quarterback run since week 1 when he scored it against Middle Tennessee.
Right.
Haven't seen that since. RPOs. You got those fast receivers like Bun and Prentice, guys who can make guys burnt and guys who can make guys miss in space. RPO, quick hitter. You know, we haven't seen that, man. He has to be more creative. I feel like it's like somebody's just used to driving a
Pinto.
03 Cutlass.
A base model Charger.
Yeah.
No. It looked fast. Supreme. It looked fast. It just ain't for real. You know what I mean? 03
Cutlass Supreme and giving him.
No, he's driving a Geo Metro, Chris.
Yeah, or a Fusion, and then giving him the keys to a Lambo. You know what I'm saying? Say do something with it. He's never done it before because he never had these weapons at Notre Dame. He's had some good players, but
he ain't never drove a 6-speed.
You know what I'm saying? He never drove a 6-speed. So that's basically what it boils down to. I just don't think he knows what he has. So that's what I think it boils down to.
Hashtag he ain't never drove a 6-speed.
And last but certainly not least, Dan, you got something to throw in?
We got Justin.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I mean, he raised his hand. I thought he just had like a little 15-second edition. Yeah. And he's talking on mute.
Just
ruining the time.
That's quick. It makes me wonder about his quarterback development.
That's what happens.
You had a guy.
Oh no, not
when you mess with the CEO. That's what you get.
No.
So we're gonna send Ty Hayes back to the CTS interview room.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Put in his resume on Indeed.com.
He's gonna be on Job Finder.
Rip.
Man,
sad.
Big time. He Bartool Sports. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
hey, that's what I'm saying.
Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, what I was saying.
Yes, Dan.
It makes me question his ability to develop a quarterback. You know, you had him for what 3 years, Tyler Buckner, and this is what we have with him working this closely with Rees. You know, I don't know. I don't know if Tommy Rees is the long-term answer at offense coordinator for the University of Alabama. I'm just leave it at that.
Yeah, looks like we need a QB coach too.
That's it.
We need something. Justin.
Hey, yeah.
The floor is yours.
Remember me? Yeah. The guy that
y'all look just alike, Justin. You and Dan.
Oh, I was just telling you I like your nice white shirt. Next topic is.
Guess who's not getting the monetization payout this month?
Justin, talk to me about Tommy Rees.
Yep, that stick of gum you've been eyeing is not yours this month, Ty. You better get yourself together over there.
You're gonna have to get double mint instead of extra this time. But.
It's okay. I got that zebra stripe gum in my back pocket. That old school.
No, not the zebra.
You got the hard bazooka paws.
Yeah.
Beach nut.
Okay, so y'all are talking about not knowing what he has. Listen, if you can't bear the cross that is Alabama football, then you don't need to apply for the job.
Right.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to catch your footing, the simplest way to do that, just like I said, simplicity, dumb it down. And as you guys have already so eloquently put, call plays according to your quarterback's skill set. Point blank, period. Don't put him in the pocket. The other thing, too, call plays that can help mask the deficiencies of your offensive line. Ever think about that? And was it you that said, if the running back is hot, keep feeding him. Don't go away from him.
Right.
Oh, sorry, Chris. It was one of those James people. But
You still saying?
I'm Chris James.
Yeah, Chris James.
That's essentially what it comes down to, guys. I could basically repeat word for word what each one of you have brought to the table, but that's it in a nutshell. Play to your strengths.
Run the ball.
Run the ball.
We got to the goal line and he ran the ball on first down. He came back and called a pass play on second down. I was like, really? This is what we doing, Tommy Rees? They're very frustrating. So
that was so Billish O'Brien-ish.
Shoot, I wish we had Bill O'Brien. We at least put up
easy.
And I want to talk real quick in the chat. The people who are still complaining about Milroe being a turnover machine, this and that. Stop it. He is what we got right now. He is our starting quarterback. Did you not watch Saturday? That's what you have to choose from. So if you got a problem, you can go over there to Ohio State or anywhere else. But we got to jump on board and get behind our starting QB. Yes, I know he has problems right now. But you know how you fix that? Consistency. Eventually, those problems will subside, and he'll get better. But then again, don't have him go out of his wheelhouse. Yes, Coach Smook?
Jalen Milroe has 117 pass attempts in his career right now. Meaningful game as a starter, 117 pass attempts right now. That's 117 pass attempts in like three true starts, right? The one game last year and the 2 this year, Middle Tennessee State and Texas. And then he came in at the end of the first quarter against Arkansas, where he threw the ball, I think, 21 times that game. So out of all those pass attempts, Jalen Milroe has 4 interceptions. His other 3 turnovers were fumbles. His passing is not a problem. If you look at the amount of pass attempts he has compared to the amount of completions to incompletions to interceptions, he only has 4 interceptions in that many pass attempts. You have other quarterbacks who have thrown less passes but have more interceptions, aka Ty Buckner. So up until last game, coming into USF game, Ty Buckner actually had their turnover ratio. His turnover ratio was higher than Jalen Milroe's. So, I mean, and that was a little deep stat study I wanted to do for y'all, just so for all the naysayers for Jalen Milroe, because Jalen Milroe, honestly, any other coach in the SEC right now possibly would. I mean, I guarantee you Tennessee will take Jalen Milroe right now.
Sure would.
The way Joe Milton played last weekend, if he had the ounce of Milroe's composure, that's a different game for Tennessee against Florida. He just had no composure. Play calling was awesome for him. He just doesn't have the composure. You put Milroe in that situation, he looks like a Heisman quarterback.
And let me add this. And while Ty throws a beautiful ball, his pocket awareness just isn't there.
Y'all see this lie down here?
Ty Hayes can throw a dime.
Hey, did y'all see this Timothy pass lie?
Smoot wanted Ty and Buckner. You
want this boy?
You want to Ty?
He said, "No, bro. I was the one getting fussed at for picking Milroe. So you know what I'm saying. It is what we was the show getting talked about for picking Milroe for sure. So don't never."
Hey, Bill, I get what you're saying, but shoot, did you not see Saturday? Every ball that Buckner threw was behind the receiver or in the dirt. It was
nobody was on target.
Guys, before we move on, I will say this. Smook, you're 100% right, but do you want to know why I'm not worried after what I saw on Saturday about Buckner throwing interceptions? Like, that doesn't concern me. The ball's got to get there in order for it to be intercepted. Like, it has to.
I mean, he mad because you didn't throw it farther enough. That's bad.
I mean, he did put it where no one else could catch it.
Nobody.
Protecting the ball.
Clearly, nobody.
Nobody's catching that one. So,
dude,
go ahead, Chris.
The receivers were blowed, bro.
Yeah, there was a point where Benson had that screen pass that was just so inaccurate, and you could tell by his body language when he got up.
He looked like this is just brutal.
What? Anyways, guys, these next 2 topics we can roll together real fast, right? So a minute each down the pipe. Justin, we're going to start with you. 2 questions. First and foremost. Yeah, right down the pipe. You know what I mean? That's the name of the OnlyFans.
Absolutely. That's available for our premium subscription.
And you will like it. And you will like it.
Y'all.
Number one coming down the pipe. What's wrong with Alabama? Number 2 coming down the pipe. Did the USF quarterback change? Did that do more harm than good, or in a perverse way? Could
we are perverse here?
Spark? That's exactly. See, I'm over here throwing layups, waiting to happen.
I'm ready to dunk.
I'm over here. Boy, Chris Paul's got nothing on me. Justin, go ahead.
Sorry, I just got lost in the nonsense.
Chris Paul's got nothing on me. Go ahead.
Lost in the sauce.
Okay. Simplicity. That's what I talked about earlier. What's wrong with Alabama right now? Well, it's three things to me. I think it's leadership or lack thereof. Show me your leaders and I'll show you your future. And right now, the leaders aren't present. And it looks like Alabama's imploding, quite honestly, because of it. Coaching. We just talked about it right here. You're not coaching to the strengths of your players and the mindset of players. I don't feel like the players are fully bought in. And if you look at Coach Saban when he was walking into the locker room during the first weather delay or the only weather delay, for the first time during his entire tenure, he looked old to me. He looked defeated. And if you listen the way he talks in his press conferences, he's not saying it, but he's saying, you know what, I can't do anything with these guys. I don't know what to do. I've lost control. That to me starts at the mindset of your guys. And the thing is, it's been negative reinforcement. This has been allowed to slide. That's been allowed to slide. This has been allowed to be passed by with no recourse. And it just snowballed to the point to where the patients are running the asylum. So it's up to Coach Saban to take control back of the team. Now, how does he do that when it's at this point? Well, it would have to be something extreme. Because honestly, I don't see like a major shift in buy-in right now. I mean, Jesus can do miracles still, but in a week's time, I don't see it. So those are my main things. As far as did the shift in quarterback hurt things, I think it did. I think the team is fully bought into Jalen right now, and they didn't want to play for anybody else, didn't want you to consider anybody else. To them, the case was closed on quarterback, so why in the world put somebody else in? And after his performance against Texas, I think he needed those immediate reps to put that behind him, to gain some confidence and keep moving forward. And that just kind of delayed things. So that's kind of where I stand there.
Great point.
Great point, Smook. Same to you.
What's wrong with Alabama? Justin hit it on the head. I honestly thought after week one, we saw what was wrong with Alabama. We knew that we were going to get tested in the trenches on both sides. We knew that offensive play calling, if it didn't change against Texas, it would be a problem. We knew these things. So that's what's wrong with Alabama. We haven't found the identity yet, on either side. I think the defense is closer to finding the identity. I think we just need to shore up that front, man. Get more pressure with being able to send forward. And I think outside of that, our defense is solid. We only gave up 3 points against USF, and that was a special teams mishap by Kool-Aid. You take that away, we don't know how that game goes. Maybe it's a shutout, maybe it's a 10-0 game, 7, whatever. But defense did their job. Against Texas, they just was on the field too many plays, against equal talent, too many plays on the field. It's going to get the best of you somewhere, mentally or physically. They said I made Buckner transfer. Oh, yeah, I didn't know if y'all seen the breaking news, but I put it in the chat. But, yeah, so did the USF quarterback change do more harm than good? I think it did more good, honestly. I'm one of those that believes, like I said, and this is the backstory for all the rumors. I want to put it to rest. This is what happened. All this attitude, this stuff about Milroe's attitude being bad, that's why this, that, and the third, that was not the case. There was a quarterback and a coaches meeting, and they asked Jalen Milroe in front of the quarterbacks, are you ready to lead this team and do what needs to be done in order for us to win? Jalen Milroe said, I'm committed to this team and being whatever I need for this team to win, quote unquote. That intel told Coach Saban, he gave him the game plan. This is the game where we have to see who our possible backup is. We need a solid number 2, not 1A, not 2A, 2B, not, maybe we got a true freshman that needs to get reps. No, we need to figure out who our number 2 is this game. Mm-hmm. Now, Do I agree with that? No. Me personally, I would have let Milroe start the game out like we've traditionally done in the past, whether, the quarterback competition was shored up or not, But this is one of those new era things that Coach Saban is trying to evolve, being there's NIL and, transfer portal. I think those type of things were put into, were factored into this decision more so than knowing that Milroe is probably your most reliable option. He's the only one with the real film, Alabama film, the only game film with Alabama. So you know what you're getting from him. So that probably was more inclined the staff to make the decision. So from an attitude standpoint, though, players, yes, I think it hurt those guys because now they don't have that same trust in the staff that they came into the season with, and that's a bad thing to have to disconnect when you're telling the player instead of running the post at 8 on this play, run it at 12 so we could open up there underneath because that's what's going to break, He think he got it at 8. No, run it at 12, like Coach said, but he doesn't have that trust in Coach because last time Coach told him to do something, it didn't favor the team. So, it's small things like that matter. So I don't know if this is going to hurt us long term, but I think Coach Saban made up for it by announcing Milroe at the beginning of the week. No questions asked. Milroe is our guy going forward until otherwise said. We have as much confidence in him, and he led off with it. He didn't wait for anybody else to speculate. He put a stamp on it. Milroe's our guy, and that's what gives me confidence going forward.
Dan.
Okay, what is wrong with Alabama? One word: leadership. Whether it's the coaches or the players, I'm not going to expound on that anymore. But the quarterback change during the USF game, it did way more harm. One, because it took away reps from Milroe, and two, we're going into week 4, guys, and we still got to get our quarterback ready. You know what I'm saying? We just go ahead and name a quarterback back in the spring, we wouldn't be dealing with this. So, we've been riding the fence with quarterbacks too long. Now we're in week 4, and, we're sliding down the poles when we should have been, getting ready. All right. But that's all I'm going to say on that.
Matt, what's wrong with Alabama, and did the quarterback change during USF? Did that do more harm than good?
I'm going to say it did more harm having the quarterback change. Like Milroe needed this game to build that confidence. Rees obviously needed to build it comfortable, get him confident going into SEC play. So I say that was more harm. And I think what's wrong with Alabama, I'm going to my caption, make Saban mean again. It goes to Coach Saban. I mean, no matter how I try to dissect it, all roads lead to Coach Saban because I'm saying this soft version of Coach Saban. I need
your phone finna ring.
I need Coach Saban. Hey, call me Coach Saban.
Dang, Coach Saban, he did it.
He straight up yeeted him out the stream.
Dang. That was Saban effect, chat.
Somebody check on him.
That's he's been sacrificed to
Listen,
Saban. He came back.
Somebody got to say it. Somebody got to say it. I need Coach Saban to be mean again because if it's leadership, if it's coaches reflect leadership. When Coach Saban is energetic, chewing everybody out, guess what the players going to look like? Oh, man, we got to step our game up because we know we don't want to be chewed out. You know what I'm saying? So that automatically gets the coaches, assistant coaches to be juiced up, charged up, ready. You need to get a little bit more energy. So, I know Coach Saban, Justin said he's getting old or whatnot, but I just watched an NFL game, Seattle Seahawks, Pete Carroll jumping up and down. This guy's 72 years old. So I can't have the excuse of Coach Saban. I just need Coach Saban to be mean again. If we get the mean Saban, which I thought we had the press conference Monday where he just announced the starter, we have the things moving forward where we need to go. So I'm gonna say it's Coach Saban. The soft clone edition of Coach Saban, because I feel like we finally got the real Coach Saban this week after that USF game.
Yeah, y'all didn't hear whenever Gucci Man was cloned, they did Nick Saban as well, and we're just now getting the new Nick Saban back, right?
That makes sense, Ty.
I thought this was common knowledge.
That makes sense.
Hey, I'm just putting people on game. Chris, talk to me.
That was the clone Nick Saban to keep them, out of the bad weather on Saturday from the lightning strike. Yeah. That was the cloning throughout there. They knew Tampa was gonna have bad weather, so
we wouldn't risk the real Saban for that.
Right. But in all seriousness, what's wrong with Bama is leadership. Like Dan said, leadership. We don't have a guy that everybody just not fear, like a Rolando McClain or Reuben Foster or Jonathan Allen, guys that
tone setters.
Yes, who was Anthony Jennings and Ryan Anderson? We don't have Bugs. We don't have mean guys on this team. There's too many nice guys. Too many nice guys, man. That's basically what it boils down to. And then you have an offensive coordinator that doesn't know how to utilize his personnel. So he leaves a freshman tackle on the island by himself with no help, and wonder why the quarterback keeps getting sacked. I mean, it's simple, man. It's simple math, but they're making it harder than what it should be. They're making it rocket science. It's not rocket science. Line up to your strength, pound team, man. Play action, get them on the move. I mean, it's simple. That's what's wrong with Bama. And Saturday, I don't think it hurt because we won. But all it did was let people know, okay, y'all cried about so and so and so and so. Now this is what you get with Butler. This is what you get with Simpson. I think that we can win games with Simpson, but I'm not sure if he's ready to take it to that championship level yet because his pocket awareness just isn't there yet. But other than that, I mean, it's just those two things. That's basically what it boils down to.
Guys, can Eric Wolford also shoulder some of this blame too? Where's this Joe Moore Award finalist coach that we heard so much about coming in? I'm not seeing the fruit of that.
Hey, Justin, we know Wolford. We know Wolford is not this dude. He's this play calling. When we went to a heavy run game, we saw Eric Wolford. We literally saw it. Like, and I can't be more clear about this. As much as Rees is wants to expose these weapons and let everybody see all these weapons, we don't need to. There's going to be times where these weapons need to focus on blocking, stealing blocks more. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I want to see. I want to see 4 or 5 wide receivers that can get out and block on the perimeter, make 4-yard gains, 12, 15-yard gains. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what I want to see. So put them in positions to where they're building it at, because clearly they are elite receivers. They can create separation. They can catch the ball. They can make plays. You get what I'm saying? Like it's just one of those things where I just, if Tommy Rees if we don't come out and run the ball 40 times against Ole Miss, I know something, and it's not good.
Well, let me answer these right here, right? Because I think we've all kind of said leadership has been a theme, but I think we can take this a step further and we can combine two things we've already talked about. One being leadership, the other being a complete lack of identity. Mm-hmm. And I understand people are mad at the true freshman, Caden Proctor. He's had a tough go of it. There's no doubt about it. Guys, J.C. Latham is a very talented guy. He's getting whooped on inside moves as well.
Yes,
this is not a one-person problem. Go back to the film. Film does not lie. Inside moves are killing our right side. You know what that tells me? They're big. That's the problem. They're a little bit too big. Right now, we've talked about Tommy Rees, right? I have to bring it up, ladies and gentlemen. The strength and conditioning program right now, they're getting, not only are they big, they're getting pushed around. So you're big for no reason half the time. And to your point, Smook, we have no identity. To your point, Chris, we have no leadership. How are we asking Jalen Milroe or any of these quarterbacks to sit in a pocket while we've established no quick passing game, even something Texas did? And I don't know if you know this, guys. Their left tackle, Banks, as a true freshman last year, he faced 4 edges that in the first round of the NFL draft gave up 0 sacks to them. He dogged all 4 of those edges. Truly, that kid is going to be a top 10 pick. He has that to work with, and he's doing quick passes to get his 5-star quarterback. He was the number 1 quarterback in not 1, but 2 recruiting classes because he reclassified. If Steve Sarkisian is calling those plays to get Quinn involved, why are we asking Jalen Milroe to step back and read an entire defense with a bad offensive line? There is no identity. That's Alabama's biggest problem. We might be able to establish some damn leadership if we get an identity. You cannot know who the leaders are if you do not know who you are. And that's a huge issue right now. Did the quarterback change do more harm than good? You know, Smook, I actually think you're on to something. Even though I think it did more harm, I do think there's a lot of logic in what you said about it being actually a catalyst for the team. But I do think you made a very important point in talking about it, that it took away reps. This is not a gimme win, guys. Like, Alabama should beat Ole Miss. Sure, Ole Miss does not play Alabama well at home historically, if we look at all things considered. But coming off of that USF game, no game is a gimme anymore. It's show me from here on out. Jalen Milroe needs all the reps you can get him. So I think it did more harm just because he didn't get the reps, but I understand where you're coming from, and it's impossible to disagree. This could be a major come to Jesus moment for the team. Gentlemen, we've talked about this USF game time and time again. We could give our grades, but I think they were all going to be pretty darn low, except for inside linebacker.
And Malachi Moore.
Hey, Malachi Moore had a hell of a game. Hats off, young man. Hats off.
And Roydell.
Outside of that, what are we looking at? D at best, if I'm being... I mean, they won, so I'll give you a D. Smook, what do you think?
I'll give him a D minus. You know, seeing Justin Aboybe after getting worked the entire game at the closing moments, posing after he gets a tackle for a loss, bruh. No, this is not a game where you pose, man.
Let's get him off the field now. You get what I'm saying?
Justin Aboybe,
and that's my boy. That's my youngin. I see James Smith coming out there playing with fire. I see
James Smith showing something. Shout
out to Mr. Yelder, $5. This wouldn't fly under Cochran's strength and conditioning program. They were meaner, stronger, and fighting pit bull hungrier. Ooh, that was rough trying to get that out.
It was.
But appreciate that $5 chat.
A lot of syllables.
Hey, but I feel you. I'm not a believer in that, y'all. I think every team I played for, every time I suited up, me and the guys created our own energy. You know, it was good to have a coach that, you know, every team I played on, we always had one coach that was like with it. You know what I'm saying? They was the ones that kind of like hype you up to go and spit at the other team's sideline just so they could say something to you, like get more people barking at you, and then that incite the whole riot. But I don't buy into all that. My thing is, these players, they come here with they know the weight that comes with coming to Alabama. They talk about stepping up to the plate and creating living up to the legacy and all this stuff. It's just it seems like they more about talking it than actually being about it now. And to me, that has nothing to do with strength and conditioning. Like you at the end of the day, you got to make all these decisions to get in the weight room and press yourself and do all these different things. Yes, it's great to have that motivation, and that mentorship, but these players are not low-level players. That's all I've got to say about it. I mean, like, that's it, man. They're not low-level players. These are not private school guys. You know what I'm saying?
You got to be careful because you might give them anxiety.
Yeah, hey. I don't disagree, Smook. But if I look at a pattern of hiring strength and conditioning coaches, if I look around college football, I can see an immediate effect. I'm looking at Schmitty at Oklahoma. Already that defense is trying to get better. You look at what Miami's trying to do. You look at Cochran in Florida State, what Cochran did at Alabama. And I like these guys, but man, there's no doubt that ever since Cochran left, there's been a decrease in physicality.
It sure has.
Speaking of someone else who left, gentlemen, there will be some familiar faces. $5 from Adam. He says, do you guys think there's a culture problem on the team? It seems like Saban isn't getting through to them and they don't seem hungry. That's an interesting one.
We find our answer this weekend.
Yep. We'll find out for sure.
When you have a no-nonsense leader, you chew everybody out, that to me, that reflects leader. You find your leaders, you find your tone setters. In my opinion, that's just my 2 cents. Like, this clone version of Saban, we need to get rid of. Like, we need Saban to be mean again. If he choose out everybody, choose out Rees, choose out Wolford, tell him to run the run the plays, then we win games. I mean, we obviously did it versus Kansas State. He was not going to let Bill O'Brien and Pete Golden, ruin that last game for Will Anderson, Bryce Young. So it just, to me, I think it falls on the head man. I love Coach Saban. He's the GOAT. But I think at the same time, he needs to be mean. Get more anal. Like, I need him to be mad. I need Miss Terry to not give him an oatmeal pie, whatever. He needs to be mad all day.
Draw a line in the sand, in other words. That's what Kirby Smart is doing.
It's the grandbabies.
Oh, yeah, they making them soft, man. Them grandbabies making them soft.
River City Tighter, $5. Don't these guys have a certain assigned weight they are supposed to arrive at in the fall? No way they were supposed to come in this fat. I don't know if there's so much this fat is just.
Did you see Jaheim Owens last year?
Yeah, he's a svelte 315 as opposed to 400.
But I do think it's something to the strength and conditioning program because we just are weak. Like, I watched Texas like they got stronger throughout the game. And you look at the old Alabama teams, like we were physical, but yeah, we got stronger throughout the game. It seems like we're just kind of weak. And our strength coach looks like he can bench like 600. But I'm like, where's the power? We're missing power from our team, in my opinion.
But let me tell you about this though. I like Cochran a lot, and I felt like he got those guys pumped. But the thing about it, man, since he's left, you haven't seen all those foot and ankle and knee injuries that we used to get. We used to lose 4 or 5 linebackers a year. Y'all remember that year we lost like 5?
Yeah, but
we lost 2 wide receivers and lost a national championship.
Dude, like we had so many foot and ankle and like we haven't had all those injuries since Baloo. But that's a good thing about it. You know what I'm saying? But
weren't they there with J-Mo?
And we ain't hitting nobody.
Yeah, there you go.
Where's that
intel? With J-Mo and Mechie, that's just a freak.
Matter of fact, our players have to ask for consent first before they touch somebody. And that's their approach.
Remember, man, that's the reason why Shane Lee and Christian Harris had to start as freshmen.
Mm-hmm. At least they were physical. Let me tell you what. But guys, we got to turn our attention to Ole Miss, right?
Yes.
I'm going to kick this off quickly because everybody's talking about can Alabama win the SEC West. Let's start with Ole Miss because we are going to find out a lot about Alabama. Unfortunately, when you play a team like USF and you learn lessons, rarely are they good lessons. We're coming off of a week where we didn't learn good lessons. Now it's time to get some good intel. We need to talk about Pete Golding. Can he get revenge? Gentlemen, I don't know if you've been peeping Ole Miss, and have y'all seen what their major weakness is? They cannot stop a running quarterback to save their life right now. Didn't the Mercer quarterback take it off for like 73?
Sure did. And Haynes King looked like a world-class NFL draft pick coming up.
Yeah.
They had almost 500 yards last week against Pete Golding.
Jaden Daniels, what he did to us last year.
Yeah.
True. Now, look, the flip side of that is Jackson Dart ran for a lot of yards. So we got to be disciplined on the defensive side. They have got 18,000 quarterbacks they will roll out. I have no idea which one they'll play. It's going to be Jackson Dart. I'm being facetious. Smook, let's start with you. Pete Golding, can he get revenge? And then give me this Ole Miss preview.
I don't think Pete Golding gets revenge anytime soon. Calling the defense how he calls the defense. I don't care where he goes. That passive aggressive style of defense is not going to be successful on no level. Maybe in the pack, but not in the SEC. Especially against a team where even if you play that passive aggressive, the amount of cushion he used to require our DBs to give. I see the same thing with Ole Miss. I see corners lining 9 to 12 yards off the ball, basically playing safety, outside the hashes. And when you have, alignment like that, I would hope Tommy Rees instantly goes to the run game, quick screen game, bubble screen game, get the tight end, out there on the perimeter to go and clean up, or pull your guard out there on the jailbreak screen, sliding all your protection. Like, I would hope those are the simple things you do when you see those type of alignments. And you talking about the Ole Miss preview, man. I seen Lane Kiffin coming out and really being aggressive offensively. And I think that plays into Kevin Steele and what he wants to do. And that includes with Jackson Dart wanting to implement his legs, because if anything, Kevin Steele is highlighting right now, especially after last week, having to play young guys on the defense. And we saw the breakdowns with the quarterback runs. Most of those runs were not designed quarterback runs. They were literally quarterback extending the plays, not looking downfield to pass and using his legs, which is what we want Milroe to do. So I see that being a focal point. And if we was to see Justin Jefferson or Jahad Campbell in high reps, getting a lot of reps, I would think it would be this game with having some guys with some speed that can cover and can spy a quarterback like Jackson Dart, who's not really fast. He's just, he's very deceptive in his movement. He's not quick. He'll give you a good shimmy here and there, but he's just very deceptive, because when he gets north and south, that's what he's doing, north and south. He's going to give you one move and get north and south, and that's usually successful when you're talking about a quarterback trying not to maintain injuries. He's not trying to make the diving plays, jumping over people. He's just very efficient in the run game with his legs. So I think that's what it looks like for us, but I think we have success overall, hopefully, if we come out with the right energy.
Mr. Yelder says, I think the true competition will be between Steele and Kiffin. If our defense fails, we fail. The offense isn't ready for a true shootout. Thank you for the $5. Look, I think it's kind of hard to disagree with that, right? I mean, the offense is coming off of a rough week. I think it's pretty hard to disagree that we're going to have to put the hat on the defense, especially playing Lane Kiffin. We know who he is. Dan, with that in mind, can Pete Golding get his revenge? And give me the Ole Miss preview.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real, y'all. I hate to say it. Pete Golding is gonna get revenge on Alabama, the Alabama fan base, because he's gonna come in and he's gonna remind us of how horrible he was in this Ole Miss blowout. I'm picking Bama. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the score. Bama.
Wait, mystery, Dan. Give him some mystery. Don't let him check out yet.
Okay, this is my freeze face.
I swear I thought you froze. I ain't gonna lie. I thought he froze. Y'all. You got me. I ain't gonna lie, chat. He got y'all.
We got man else in the chat, y'all. But anyway, yeah, he's gonna get revenge, but it's gonna be in a good way for us. He's gonna remind us of how terrible it is, because we're gonna have to witness a Pete Golding coach defense again in Bryant-Denny Stadium.
Yeah. And the one thing we know about Golding's defense, if it gets to 3rd and Golding, it's pretty much a guarantee. And just send out a wheel route. Route.
Long as we keep the 3rd down. We keep getting the 3rd down.
It's like Bigfoot.
Crazy, Ty? It's crazy. I know we joke about that, but if we do not utilize the tight ends in this game and the running back out the backfield, Tommy Rees, I'm gonna be on the fire, Tommy Rees. Well, I don't care if it changes later in this season, bro. Pete Golding has been on national TV for the past 5 seasons. He's been the marquee guy. You have nothing but, repeated instances where the same thing is beating this guy. Nobody's done that special to beat Pete Golding. He does all this dress up and makeup stuff pre-snap for no reason. I mean,
Well, let's see if we can find a reason. Matt, will Pete Golding get his revenge? And then give me your preview for Ole Miss.
I don't know. Listen, we got Tommy Rees versus Pete Golding. I mean, probably two of the worst coordinators come through Coach Saban era. But I don't think he gets his revenge. I think we got rid of the clone Saban, and the real Saban is here. And I think you're going to see a different Bama team. I think these guys, something about going through adversity, looking bad, being embarrassed, all that stuff, still finding a way to win. I think these guys are going to get it right. And I will say one good thing that USF did prepare us for.
Wake up, sir.
One good thing USF did prepare us for. 4th down. We know
scared the hell out of me.
We know Lane Kiffin is going to go for it on 4th down. I feel like USF went for it multiple times. They prepared our defense. I think we know how to stop a rushing quarterback. Kind of get prepared for the rushing lanes and being prepared to go for, be able to defend that fourth down from Lane Kiffin's aggressive offense attack. So, I think Bama's going to rock and roll, and I think you're going to see a different Bama, a different Tommy Rees, because I think we got rid of the clone saving.
Pete Van has a comment up here. He says, Pete checks for wheel routes under his bed at night. Real talk. Van, Pete Golding looks, that's too accurate. Yeah. Chris.
We need Van just for like a 5 to 10 minute segment where he just does stand up, because he's
just
quality entertainment. Just roasting. He's quality entertainment.
It's like the weapons of his answer to the wheel route. It's like us trying to find the weapons of mass destruction. They're just not there. They're just not there. Chris. Let's hit the comment first. Can we just string together 3 5 to 8 minute drives and control time of possession, build consistency through long drives?
I think this dude was watching me, has been listening to me a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have the absolute build to be able to do so. Our pass blocking is absolute garbage, so let's run block, right? We can't catch anybody because we can't catch anybody, so let's fire off the ball and get to them. Chris, talk to me. Will Pete Golding get it? Okay.
I'm gonna cut y'all right there, bro. I'm gonna cut y'all right there.
Okay.
No. And Bama will come out with a message. Yeah, man. I think it's either gonna be one of those games where Ole Miss kind of hangs around the first couple of series, and then we just go ahead and thump them, or we're just gonna put our foot on their necks from the start. But either way, I still see Bama pulling away. I think we hit the 40-point mark this week because it's Pete Golding. And I'm going to give Ole Miss anywhere from 17 to 23 points because, they have a great offensive mind, but I just don't see them consistently stringing together drives to get in the end zone because the players are going to be ready, man, because this is an SEC matchup, our SEC opener. So, they're going to come with some urgency, man. And now that they know who's going to be leading them, I think Milroe's going to make plays. And we're going to get the running game started because I think Roydell's going to pick up where he left off last week. And hopefully, man, we see some Justice Haynes, man. I'm ready for it.
Hopefully. Justin, bring us home.
Yes, sir. As far as Pete Golding goes, the thing that is consistent with him is his inconsistency. He can look great for a couple of series and then be Pete Golding for the next 3 or 4 series. He's still not making adjustments. He is not bringing pressure. I think they only had 2 sacks this past game. But if ever there was a time for him to be dialed in, it will be against Alabama. I think he'll probably do his best coaching job, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the things that y'all just pointed out, there are weaknesses in this game, are going to be exposed again if Tommy Rees does what he's supposed to do. But listen, on the other side, guys, this is a really, really, really weird year for the SEC. It seems like we're in a limbo world, bizarro world. The SEC
Kinda
is
sucks.
inconsistent. But if you look at Ole Miss, they're trending upward. They're probably the more consistent and most complete team in the SEC right now. If ever there was a time for Ole Miss to strike, it's this year. And I think that this is the year where they kind of have it all put together. I think that Jackson Dart has taken that next step in his journey. There's maturity there that wasn't there this past year. He's the undisputed leader of their team. He kind of reminds me of a faster Jake Coker, but for them. And Lane Kiffin is not going to make the same mistakes he has been. I don't think he's going to be careless and do anything that's going to cost him. I think he realizes he has Nick Saban. He has Nick Saban backed into a corner. Jackson Dart, for him, this can be a career-defining moment. He's already got 852 yards passing, 7 touchdowns. He's on a national stage. If he wins this game, he's in the Heisman race. His stock of the NFL goes up if he wins this. Not many people are talking about this. Ole Miss has had some injuries, but their star players are coming back. Trey Harris is back this week. Caden Prescorn, who is quietly having a great year. at tight end is back. And don't forget about another wide receiver, Jordan Watkins, who's having a fantastic year. The weapons are there. So I think this is going to be a little bit closer than what the experts think. If Alabama's dialed in, they handle their business. But I don't feel like the way y'all are feeling that this is going to be a blowout. I just can't buy into it yet just because of how the team has responded up to this point and seen all the deficiencies across the board, the buy-in and all the things we already mentioned. So I think Alabama does win, but it's going to be somewhere around 24-21.
Overtime?
Possibly, yeah.
Hey, I don't forget about Quinshawn Judkins, man. That kid, he got looked over by Alabama coming out of Valley, I want to say.
There's chips on the shoulders galore in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's more so of a thing where if our defense could come out and make their offense think, make them think and adjust early, that's good for us. Because I don't see us coming out of the basics this game. Our defense is playing solid, guys. We got to really look at the film and look at the last 3 weeks and look at what our defense has been faced with and the type of situations they've been put in. Even against Texas, they stood their own. They held their own. They were out there 6 extra drives they didn't need to be out there for. So, I think we're in good position right now.
Hold on, let me cut you off. What experts think we're gonna lose? We favorite. You must be listening to Bleacher Report or something, miss. You didn't listen to the Vegas.
Hey,
you gotta get off Bleacher Report, dog.
Hey.
Oh, wow.
The best thing for Alabama is how trash.
Tell him, Ty, he gotta get off Bleacher Report.
No. I'm talking about non-Vegas sources.
I know.
I'm not talking about. I'm just saying, like, experts. I'm talking. Vegas is the experts when it comes to Vegas.
Yeah, I think the best thing that's happened to Alabama is how trash we look, how embarrassed we look versus USF, and maybe Ole Miss comes in, with that, they're going to come in and win, and we have to have that underdog mentality. So hopefully we take our disadvantages from the past and use them to our advantage starting Saturday.
And one of the biggest things is put Ole Miss out of these games is the moment's always too big for them. Have they overcome that now? Because they've got some confidence. And let me remind everybody, too, Ole Miss is a second-half team this year. When they're down, when they're facing adversity, they rally. So if we're going to beat them, put them away early and keep your foot on the throat, as Marvin Constant pointed out earlier.
Well, here's one thing. What's the health of Judkins?
Let's say he's
banged
back
up against Georgia Tech.
They say he's back. That's what Kiffin was saying in his interview today. All those guys are back practicing full practice. So
good. He's super good.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I want. I want another test. I don't want us to have no type of personnel advantage or anything. This team right here needs to show some type of something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to jinx us, but besides that little run Deuce Vaughn had in K-State, like, who's the last back to really just eat us up, like, constantly?
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Those third down conversions that ultimately we couldn't get off the field on third down. Like, I'm not worried about, like, running backs. I'm more worried about other teams, like receivers, than I am a running back. We don't have too many, too much of a problem of just shutting out somebody's run game. It's the passing game, unless it's a running quarterback. But as far as running backs, I'm not too much. Bijan Robinson last year, we limited him to what? He's the best we've probably seen.
My biggest key to this game is, guys, and you'll probably agree with me, is for us to be disciplined. Avoid the eye candy. Make Lane Kiffin work for the yards.
I already know what Lane's gonna do. Dan knows it. What is he gonna do, Dan? Sideline to sideline. Sideline to sideline to start the game, to try to wear the defense down, sideline to sideline, get them behind the chain, and then he'll try to hit you up the gut with Jucky. Hit you up the gut. That's what he does. Lane Kiffin goes sideline to sideline early in the game. Tries to wear that. Dan, you're on mute. Sideline to sideline.
Oh, and he's out.
Yeah, but have y'all noticed that about Lane Kiffin?
Well, Lane Kiffin didn't want Dan disclosing the full
That's exactly what
the
it
full
was.
game plan. So I'd watch out because if you go too much further, you're gonna be next. He's gonna come and get you as well. Joey Freshwater is gonna step in the building.
What's the lead industry?
I wonder if Lane's gonna jump on like miss me yet.
Like well, gentlemen, we've talked USF. We've asked the question, is Tommy Rees sabotaging the offense? But you know what we haven't done yet? We haven't plugged up our OnlyFans channels, and it is about that time of the show where we start spreading the love so that you can see, get it spreading, so that you can start seeing more of us. Man, I'm telling you, I'm just giving layups. Justin, we'll start with you. Where can the people find all of your great private soiree meets?
Well, I have to ask my PR rep first before I disclose that. So I'm going to let Dan, who has been a fine provider of his OnlyFans, go first, and I'll circle back.
Well, thank you, Kylie.
What I do?
Here we go.
See, I recognize people, Dan, unlike Ty, who completely disregarded me the first part of the show. But
and I just tried to make it up, and look at that. You slapped me right back down. I passed the torch to you, and you weren't ready for it.
Y'all sure y'all want to do this? Cause I'm gonna shut it down now.
Shut it down.
All right. Well, first of all, y'all can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Final Whistle Dan. You catch me here every Tuesday night and Saturday post-game show, the Final Whistle. Make sure y'all hit the like and subscribe. And you can catch me, my OnlyFans, Chocolate Thunder, the 8th Wonder. But we're using it's Ole Miss Week. We're using a special promo code. It's hashtags Pete's Pickled Pecker.
Drop the mic. We're done. I mean, I can't get behind that. How do you know it's pickled?
Because it's being confirmed that
we got sources. That's all you need to say. Let me say
this. I've heard that he had a train run on because Lane and Coach Saban both gave him the D. I told you now. I was gonna shut it down.
The train. You can't do it.
Hey, I'm done, man.
I lost it when he said Black Thunder, the 8th Wonder.
We need to go to church after this one.
No doubt.
Well, I'm not plugging up my OnlyFans after that. I have got nothing to add to that. Matt, go ahead.
I'm retired from OnlyFans after that.
Hit me up on my OnlyFans. Running down the pipe. Promo code.
Whoa! Pause.
I can't think of anything after Final Whistle. But
that's my bad, guys. I completely destroyed that.
Listen, splitting the seams is splitting the uprights. That's what it's about. My promo code. So yeah. Chris, what's your OnlyFans?
Now let me go last. Go to Smoot.
Smoot?
Go ahead.
Man, you can find me at Coach Smoot on all platforms. And I'm retiring from OnlyFans as of tonight because blowing bubbles was definitely not going to hit it. And that Ty Buckner was our freaking our guest. We saw his performance on the field. Auditions went horrible. Couldn't throw the bubble screen. So we'll get this one to y'all for free. No promo code for blowing bubbles this week on my OnlyFans, and we'll definitely be retired. Thank you.
Well, look, I've always done the reach around the table sports part 2 electric boogaloo, but because Dan's was so great, I'm gonna have to go on the fly this evening, and because it's Ole Miss week, guys, you already know I want to see it raining wheel routes. So new OnlyFans for this week, because Alabama is going to be raining wheel routes on Pete Golding. check me out on OnlyFans at goldenshowers.only.
And they'll do it for us. I can't do it.
We're
done. Mountain Dew.
We're done, son. We are done, son. Justin, we are done, son.
I wave my flag. I can't.
We're done,
with that, I'm gonna put my nuts in the segment. All right,
guys, this might be our last show. So.
It might be the FCC.
On our new page, the Final Whistle 2, like college football talk 5th edition.
We want to film one.
We're gonna get banned.
All right, I'm gonna get cut off in the middle of this, but
that's what she said.
But you can find me on Facebook at Chris K. James Sr. on X, formerly known as Twitter at Coach Chris James. You can find me on Instagram at CKJ Senior 32. I'm on all platforms. You just gotta find me. And my only name for the night is take the tie off. The field. Get his ass off the field. Take the tie off the field.
Oh my gosh.
And last but certainly not least, Justin.
Well, listen, I really can't top Golden Showers or
Lord,
some of the others that have been mentioned tonight. And honestly, we need to get a plaque for you guys. That is beautiful, and that's on the Hall of Fame.
Golden Showers,
first name on the ballot, undisputed champion. But listen, guys, I want everybody to hit that like and subscribe button. Shouts out to the chat. Y'all have been amazing tonight. We had, I think, over 300 or 400 people in at one time, and that's a big deal. You like us. You really like us. Hey, real quick, we got a super chat from Wookie Gremlin. Hashtag Pete's comeback.
Welcome home, Pete. Hey, Justin.
I want you to. Huh?
Aren't they the Black Bears?
They don't know their identity either.
They're the Admiral Akbars.
Etc. They got everything.
But yeah, find us on all social media platforms at the Bama Standard. We're on TikTok at _Bama Standard. Continue to show up and show out every week, doing your thing. Hey, it's only going to get better. But as for the rest of us here at the Final Whistle,
we got another super chat. Did you get that super chat?
Wookie Gremlin, yes, we got that.
Yeah, I got him.
Okay.
Pete comes back.
But we didn't hear from Pete this week. We've been hearing from him all week. I guess
he hiding. You know, that's what he do. He like to show his pecker and then dip out. That's what he do. That's it. Just a pecker
his
shower.
Peter is golden.
Well, just like
he's a shower, not a grower.
Was this?
Dear Christ.
End it. Roll Tide.
Hit.